My first Shivaratri, I had come to the ashram at 98. It was our first international course in that February. And that, of course, was at the old ashram. I was very excited. And when I came, I was a little quieter, nothing like what I am today around Gurudev. And because I wasn't sure of myself and what was appropriate, what was inappropriate, I didn't know you could just be a crazy devotee. And I had not, other than seen him once, I had not seen him for days. And the morning of Shivaratri, I just woke up out of a sound sleep around 4 o'clock in the morning, just boom, awake, with this intense longing that I must see my guru today, and I will see my guru today. That's it. It was clear. So in the dark, I had about 6 roommates. I quietly got dressed, and one of my friends, Victoria, she woke up. We had traveled together, and I motioned to her to be quiet and get dressed quietly. I didn't want everybody waking up. So we got ready, and in the dark, we walked from, I think it was Radha, was the kutir we were in. And, it's a little scary at night because it was in the dark, because there were a lot of cobras around at that time, and it's very rocky. So we just had the light of our flashlight. And I really didn't know what I was going to do when I got to Shakti Kutir, the original Shakti Kutir, but I knew that's where he was and that's where I was going, and that was it. So there was, it's so beautiful there. There's the red cobblestone path leading up to the small cottage and all kinds of flowers around. There was this little low black wrought iron gate, and there was a stone wall. So Victoria and I just sat on the stone wall waiting. Waiting for what? Waiting for a sign of the guru. Waiting for how long? We did not know. And the sun started to rise and the birds were singing. It was just, could not be more beautiful. So after about an hour of waiting, we see this young man in a white kurta walk by, and we said, we're here waiting to see Gurudev. Do you think he's even in there? Is it possible that we'll be able to see him? And the guy just smiled and said, just sit, just wait. We didn't know for what. We knew that there were going to be celebrations for Shivaratri starting, early that morning at the meditation hall. So we waited. And then all of a sudden, I heard this singing, this beautiful angelic singing before I saw them. And then I saw the Brahmin boys with the Marka Shiva on their forehead and their dhotis on. And the singing was like the celestial gods had come down from heaven. It was so pure, so beautiful. And they were carrying lamps and bells. And Gurudev came out of Shakti Kutir. And I used to love it in those days. He would wear his shawl over his head, and it was trimmed in crimson. It was so simple, so pure, and so light. The whole feeling was of lightness. And he walked by, and I just pranamed, and he acknowledged just by bowing his head. And then Gurudev went, and the Brahmin boys followed, chanting, and Victoria and I followed behind as he wound his way up the path to the meditation hall. And I really remember at that moment thinking, this must be what it was like when Jesus walked the planet. That here he is, this being of divinity, and not many people around who don't even know who's here right now on this earth. But I'm here. I'm able to walk behind and with. And we went to the meditation hall, and he went up. It's not a big hall. It's not like today. If you look at that old meditation hall, you'll think, how could hundreds of people have fit in there? But they did. They fit in there, and it was a very sober, solemn moment. And then it changed, like things do in India. All of a sudden, I'm trying to walk to the front where my back jack was, where my friend had saved a spot for me. And of course, I'm trying to avoid walking on people's feet and knocking into them, and a lot of excuse me's and a lot of Jai Gurudevs. And I'm trying to sit down, and then aunties are sitting on my feet and jabbing me in the side, and people are coming and practically putting their kids on my lap. And I'm thinking, my gosh, is this how you sit to meditate in India? I was shocked. So after you finally work it out and find your little 1/4 inch of space, I sat, got ready, and Guruji began to do Rudram and to do the chanting to begin the day for Shivaratri. And then I heard this noise. I heard this blaring of horns in the back, but there were so many people, I couldn't see it, but I thought, what is that? Are there hecklers in here? There's hecklers coming in here to disturb Gurudev. And I was ready to get up and go take care of the situation, but I couldn't get past all those people and get back to my seat. And then it got quiet. And then a while later, I hear the horns again, and I hear all the blaring of the horns. And I think, what is going on? Why is no one else disturbed? Why am I the only one that feels disturbed by this? And nobody gets up to do anything. And I say to myself, Patti, you better not get out of your seat. You're visiting the ashram for the first time. There are people here who know what's going on. Let them take care. It happened, I think, a 3rd time, and then I didn't hear it again. And that night, when I told my friend about it, I said, I can't believe these people were here heckling us during, Rudram. Why is Guruji not having anybody do anything? She said, Patti, that's not hecklers. That's the sounds that happen during the Rudram and during the pujas to wake up the consciousness. It's part of the ritual. I had no idea. So now, of course, when I hear that sound, I welcome it. Yeah, please wake up my consciousness. That was my first time. And of course, Shivaratri was magical. We were in that first amphitheater, which again, it's like going back to your house when you're grown up. Your house looks so big to you when you're a kid, and when you go back, you're like, what? That's my house? That was so small. It seemed so big at the time. So the old ashram was like that for us too. That little amphitheater, that was the first time I saw Gurudev. We were up all night with him, maybe 300 people. I'm not sure how many. It wasn't a big number, but to me, I thought, oh, it's too many people here. And because we always want the guru to ourselves, don't we? And he went into the Shiva Tandav dance, and I remember thinking, where's he going? Is he leaving? Is he going up to the heavens? And someone pointed out to me, because he has come to this planet to be here for humanity, one foot will always be on the ground, even though the other hand is up to the heavens. And about a year later, I was showing him the pictures I had taken during that time. And he said to me, was it scary for you, Patti? I said, it was a little scary, Gurudev, because there was so much going on. I didn't know what was happening, and I was afraid you were going to leave us. And he said, it's the energy, it's so much energy that comes during that dance when Shiva touches the ground, and of course is through our Gurudev. It was amazing. And a few years later, maybe it was 2 years later or something, I was back in India, and my first Lakshmi Puja was at Gurudev's mother's house. And so when was that? Maybe that was the next year, something like that. I lose track of the time now. And this was in Jayanagar, I believe. And there's a beautiful puja room at that home. And that was the first time I saw Gurudev go into Devi Bhav. And again. I didn't know what was happening. It was so mystical, so powerful, so sacred. It was just a small group of us, Swami Satyajata, myself, and Gurudev had gone there, and I was with sitting next to Swamiji. And during that puja, actually, this gold Lakshmi pendant that I keep is from the puja table at that house, at Gurudev's mother's house. And back then we would go upstairs, up to the roof. And as you said, Amma always had so much food, and there was all kinds of food there. And we had a beautiful lunch up on the roof. Ajay was a young boy then, Gurudev's nephew. Remember Ajay and Arvind being there, and it was just incredible celebration and incredible feeling of this is my family. I'm here with my spiritual family, and so much gratitude and so exciting, the unfolding of seeing who I'm with, who is my master. Not that we know who he is, but getting an inkling of just how precious this is, how special this is, how much more there is to know, how much more there is to discover, and to never, ever, ever take advantage of it. And even, now I just want to share, when the times get difficult and we don't get to maybe have the time we want, I have to tell myself the same thing, or the length of time we want, just to remember how precious any moment, any glance, any sighting of Gurudev is for a devotee on this planet, and know that you, me, all of us are the most fortunate.
Beautiful story, Patti. So I'm sure there are many more in your book. And all the viewers, I would like to tell again, there is 25% discount going on her book, so that we all should check out the link given in the description. You will get the 25% discount on Amazon in India, and Amazon.com also, which is global. So go and check that out. Patti, can we conclude with any story which happened after you wrote?
Well, there's so many stories after I wrote the book. Let me think. Yes. So after I wrote the book, it launched in July, and then Gurudev told me I could come to India and we'll launch the book here. And he had said in July of 2019, he looked at me, said, "We're going to make a big splash for your book, big splash." And that Guru Purnima, it was not a big splash. In fact, I came up, presented the book. He touched his heart, which was amazing, because that meant he was blessing that book. And that was it. And I would say to my friends, that's it? That's the splash? That was it. So I come to India in February. Wow. The night he launched the book, Shivaratri, if you've seen by now, Shivaratri and Guru Purnima seem to be my times on the planet. We all have these times of transition in our life. Mine is at the beginning and the middle of the year. It was so grand that it was at the, what do you call it, the Guru Paduka out here. And there's the red carpet. I've never been there. I was wearing a sari. We had the books ready, printed in India, launching it for India under Art of Living. And I'm very serious. And whenever I'm serious around Gurudev, it's rare that he will allow me to remain serious. So I'm walking down, I'm really focused, and the young girls next to me, they're carrying the books, and they say, "I wonder what he's going to do." They were nervous. I said, "Don't you be nervous. He's probably going to do something to me. I have no idea what he's going to do." So we walk up, and I'm standing next to him in my sari, very reserved, And all of a sudden, I feel something going on next to me. I don't know what, I can feel it before I can see it because I'm just trying to make sure I don't trip over my sari. And I see him shaking my book, laughing and looking at me and laughing. You saw, you were there, like, I know how to shake you. I know how to make you shaky. He had so much fun doing that. I looked at him when I realized what he was doing, and I said, "Thank you very much, Gurudev." I knew he was going to do something to make a joke. And then when we were in Delhi, he had called me up to the stage to also launch the book in front of 8,000 people. And I tell you, it was so humbling for me because it showed me, and he had this beautiful book cover that had been made for my book, absolutely beautiful. And it just showed me again and again the power of the Guru's words. If he says he's going to do it, he's going to do it. If he says it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And, you know, we're human. We get doubts until that consciousness is fully blossomed. And even, well, I guess until the consciousness is fully blossomed, there will be some doubt or there will be some wonder. Hopefully we turn the doubt into wonder. And whatever Guruji says he's going to do, he's going to do. It's on his timeline, though, because I still think, oh, if you say it, it should happen right here. But he has a whole different plan. So that was pretty fun. And now, of course, whenever he sees me, if I'm starting to get a little tight, a little rigid about anything that maybe I like or don't like, he'll say, "Unshakable." So my own words are coming back to bite me. There is no room to be anything less than unshakable now because the Guru is holding me to that standard since I put becoming unshakable on the cover of my book, and he's having fun doing it.
So these 3 sessions were filled with humor, devotion, love, and showcasing Gurudev how he's 100% human with compassion and humility, and at the same time how he's 100% divine, functioning from different dimensions and taking care of everything.
Exactly. And how much he loves us, you know, as his devotees. With the devotee must have a guru, and a guru must have a devotee.
Wow.
We're together.
They're together. And thank you, Didi. I also enjoy listening to these Guru stories, and there is so much learning to listen to all your experiences. We feel like we are walking on the same path, feeling the same emotions in those incidences, and getting the same learnings out of it.
Well, I want to also say thank you to you for everything. Thank you for your flexibility. Thank you for your invitation. Thank you for your time. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for your seva. And I really hope I get to meet you in person and I can give you a big non-social distancing hug. You're really a gem in Gurudev's crown.
Thank you, Didi. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev.